Hey YouTube, it's Aiden here. Better lighting this time. Um, so this video is about Dr. Phil show I saw last night, and also a little bit about the whole issue that seems to be going on. Not directed at the Rick Perry thing, but just directed at the whole Christmas in the public view thing. So first off, I saw Dr. Phil last night with a family that was very religious and against pretty much their how they identified it as their daughter transitioning to male. So this trans guy on there had not been through any surgeries or anything, but he was like 30 some years old. Sorry, my stupid phone. He was like 30 some years old, and he had decided he was going to get top surgery and also get start hormones. So he went on the show because his family didn't agree or whatever. So I honestly don't really like Dr. Phil, but there was this one point he made. He asked the guy pretty much one question, and I liked actually what Dr. Phil had to say. He asked the guy thinking of transitioning, do you think that after transition, or after the surgery, that's mostly what the thing was about, the top surgery. After surgery and after living as a man, do you think relationships will be hard? And the trans man replied that no, he doesn't think relationships will be hard because he'll be able to fully be himself, and that with the love he has for himself, being true to himself, he will be able to build relationships, and that some people will not accept him, but the love he has for himself will kind of conquer all the other relationships he has. So Dr. Phil said that with the answer that this guy had just given him, he thinks it's very clear that he's not ready to transition. Now, at first, I didn't really know how I felt, but after thinking about it, I actually think that I agree with Dr. Phil. And that might upset a lot of you guys, but I think if you really think about it, um, if you decide to transition and you think that, love will conquer all, and that your life will just be so much better and your relationships will almost be better with people, and relationships talking friendships, family members, and sexual relationships, um, I think that you're wrong. And I know that's kind of a bold statement to make, but if you can't acknowledge that your life will be hard still after transition, as whole as you may feel, your life in the public view with your family possibly, and definitely relationships with um, your whoever you decide to be, you want to partner up with, um, as far as being male and being heterosexual trans man, um, when you approach a man, or I mean when you approach a female, or if you're identify as a homosexual trans man, if you approach a male or a female as the male you are, there will be a point in time where you will have to tell them that you are transgendered and that you do not have what a bio male may have downstairs. And if you think that that's not going to affect a relationship, then you know you need to be awakened because it will affect a relationship. Um, just like if you, as a trans man, was dating a girl, okay, and then she decided that she had to tell you that she doesn't have all the equipment you may think that she has downstairs. Um, some trans men may say that's fine, whatever. But I know a lot of trans men who would say, "Oh, I just can't. Maybe I could date a transgendered female when they're fully transitioned, bottom surgery and all, but having a penis is not going to be sexually attractive to you, and you're not going to be able to find any sexual appeal in a penis on a female if you um, are looking for a female. Maybe, like I said, maybe after they transition, um, as far as bottom, maybe that will be okay with you. And on the other side of the fence, if they're fully transitioned and you don't have a penis, right? They might not, that might not work for them either, you know? I just feel like the point he made might have been a little rash and a little harsh, probably harsher for ratings and whatever, but I truly feel that this guy may not have been ready. He was fighting. He was fighting. I think that if you have to fight in your transition, like fight really hard, and you don't really have much support against on your side of the fence, I feel like transitioning is to be very difficult for you because you're going to be fighting everything. Um, I just, like I said, it's hard. It's a hard subject to talk about. Like if somebody's ready, they're the only people who will know they're ready. But I actually agreed with Dr. Phil because if you think that life's going to be all grand and dandy and you're going to be totally fine and every relationship you have is going to be fine because I'm a man and I'm a trans man, but I'm a man. Yeah, you're a man. Mm-hmm. You are. I truly believe that inside and outside, but the view of other people, the view that other people will have on you is going to be different. Your relationships will be affected. Oh, they will be affected. Every relationship you have right now with your mom and your dad and your brother and your sister and your uncle and your best friend and your old best friend and your new friend and every relationship, your girlfriend and your boyfriend, every relationship you have will be affected. Um, what, how dramatic will that effect be? It all depends on how open-minded that person is or what type of relationship you have with them is. But I just really felt like his answer, is a good answer, but it's not a totally realistic answer because finding love within yourself, yeah, that'll keep you strong and that will be what keeps you going even when you come into relationships that are negative for you or somebody doesn't see you in the view or I mean the eye that you wish they would see you in. Yeah, being strong and loving yourself is going to help you tremendously, but just because you love yourself inside and out doesn't mean the next person's going to love who you are inside and out. So yeah, I'm sure tons of people are going to go off on me for that, but I'm just being realistic. I think that transition is a big deal. It really is. And it's a lot more than just saying I'm a man in a girl's body. It's a mental status, it's a physical status, it's a social status, it's everything. Everything changes. You don't even your thought process changes. How you think of things, how you react to things, everything changes. Um, some more dramatic than others, but I mean, I like to think that, oh, I haven't changed since I transitioned, but yeah, I've changed since I transitioned. Have I changed dramatically? No, because I focus mainly in life on my emotional transition. Um, More recently, it's been more physical, just because I've been struggling with top dysphoria like crazy for the last, maybe last year or so. Um, so being able to focus on your life emotionally is going to help you like so much dramatically. All right, so to skip on to the next topic, this whole like I saw on TV like this whole like Christianity and public property. There's a baby Jesus on my courthouse at my courthouse. Okay, um, and I just think it's almost funny. This is like a much lighter subject. I think it's hilarious because here we have these Christian people, okay, hyper Christians. That's what I'll call them, who totally think that all trans and gay people are going to hell. Okay, I'll meet you there. Um, they're all going to hell. And meanwhile, they have all these other people, all these other religions saying, listen, you know what? You're shoving your Christianity down our throats because when I drive by on my normal drive to work, I'm pretty much forced to look at what you have in front of the courthouse or what you have in all these public spaces. Okay? Yeah, and it's true because it's a public space, so it should be open to everybody. Nobody should feel threatened going into any public space, okay? When it has to do with their religion or gender or anything. But with this, we're dealing with religion. So when it has to do with religion, I should be able to walk around anywhere and not feel offended, okay? If another person verbally says Merry Christmas to me and I don't celebrate Christmas, well, that's, you shouldn't take that personal. When you're driving by a house and it says Merry Christmas on it, you shouldn't take that personal either, because that's their own house, that's their own property. They have the right to express their religion, whatever that may be. But putting it in a public place is crazy to me. So, but that's not what I'm dealing with. I'm dealing with the fact that these hyper Christians went on TV and said, if you don't like it, you don't have to, you can ignore it. If you don't like it, you can change the channel. If you don't like it, you could take another route to work. I just thought it was so funny, because I'm thinking, okay, well, if you don't like gay people, don't be friends with them. Or if you don't like gay people, turn the other way. If you don't think two girls should be holding hands, then don't look. I just thought it was so funny, because it's the same stuff they're spewing out to other people about their religion is the same thing we're spewing out to other people about our gender or our sexual identity, or our sexual identity. I think that's the one I was looking for. So I just think it's hilarious that they could just go on TV and say, if you don't like it, don't look. Meanwhile, when we say it, if you don't like it, don't look, they flip a shit. And they're like, oh, but it's against the law, or it's against the Bible, or whatever you believe, it's against what I believe. And it's just so funny, because it's like, you're using our swords. You know what I mean? Like, you're reaching into the gay, trans, lesbian, all that stuff closet, okay? You're pulling out our swords, and then you're fighting other people with it, okay? But then when we say, hey, well, can we have the swords back? That's our line. They go, oh, no. No, no, we can use them. We can say turn your head, but nobody can turn their head to that. Two dudes having sex? No way. I'm not turning my eye. I'm fighting for my right of be a Christian heterosexual, blah blah blah. I just thought it blew my freaking mind. And I'm not even talking about the Rick Perry thing. I don't think I need to discuss that, because I think everybody knows about that. But I just I just thought it was almost funny, like it was sad funny, um, and ironic funny. But it was just like, seriously. Like, that's our line. Like, if you don't like it, don't look. It's just so funny, because here they are, like, fighting for their right. And they think their right is just so okay. It's okay to say that, but when we say that, we're crazy. We are loony bins, man. We need to go get saved, or we need to be just burned to the fucking ground. It's just, it almost drove me nuts, the fact that they were saying this, but they were, and it was crazy. And yeah, I think you guys can all agree with me that, they're using what we taught them to use against other people. But then when we say, oh, we taught you that, they say, no, you're just nuts. You're just going to hell. Sorry, bro. But, someone's got to go to hell. And I'm going to say it's you. So, because if it's you, it ain't me. But, all right. It's been almost 14 minutes. I'm going to stop rambling. But I don't know, if you guys hate me for the first comment, hopefully, I helped you guys understand where I was coming from, and it's not saying that that person is not transgendered in any way. It's just saying that there's a lot more to it than getting your breast tissue removed and injecting steroids. I hate that word, and I just said it. Hormones into your body. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot more than that. Do I love Dr. Phil? No, I still don't like Dr. Phil, but I thought he made a good point. I really do. I thought he made a good point. Um, so if you hate me for the first comment, hopefully you can understand. And if you can't understand, maybe the second comment kind of cheers you up a little bit, made you like me again. So let me know your thoughts. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about if anyone else saw that Dr. Phil episode, and if anybody else has seen the news channels where they're, fighting Christianity all over the fucking board. Seems like this holiday season. So, all right, guys. You know what this means. Peace.